Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Danny, and today, Great.com talks with Monica White, who is the president and CEO of the Food Share in Ventura County. If you haven't heard of them yet, the Food Share is dedicated to leading the fight against hunger in Ventura County. And remember, if you're new here to this podcast, press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app, because today we learn about the importance of fighting hunger and food insecurity. Hi, Monica. Welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Danny. How are you? That's what you go by, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm awesome. And how are you?
Great. Very nice to see you this morning.
Thank you for joining. I said before, it's truly our pleasure to get to interview you today.
I appreciate it. I'm ready to get started.
Well, let's do this then by beginning with, where are you located? Where is Ventura County located? Exactly.
That's a great question. So Ventura County is a beautiful county located right in between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles, two places that most people know of. When you drive from LA to Santa Barbara, you'll drive through Ventura County, but we're a beautiful county with 850,000 people, and also the Channel Islands National Park. The islands are also part of Ventura County as well.
Wow, I actually really looking forward to visit those places. And well, I've got to say that in my personal ignorance, I before doing this interview, I thought it was really hard to see a context of food insecurity and hunger in this region. I think I have a different understanding of what the economy is like in there. So what is the context that you're actually seeing in a daily basis there?
I think that's a common misconception that we live in an affluent area. How could people possibly be hungry when people are living in $1 million houses? And actually, that is the reality, is that it is so expensive to live in our county that there's many people, such as farm workers, there's seniors, we do serve homeless and working families who are just trying to make ends meet. And they're the ones that we are serving on a daily basis.
Well, yeah, that's the point actually that got me thinking about the differences on income, like on household income. And what exactly has the Food Share been doing to try to, meet this need in there?
So on a daily basis, we're feeding anybody who needs that extra support and be able to put food on their tables for their families or themselves. So we have been in existence for 43 years. So 1978 is when a group of very generous people got together and decided to be able to help some people who are living under a bridge in one of our cities. And that started in their garage and then grew to a fire station that was donated by the city for $1 a month, I believe. Quickly outgrew that, went to a warehouse that we are currently in, bought the warehouse across the street, expanded the warehouse. We are in another third facility that we are now leasing. So it's been a growing mission and growing need. But the good news is that we've been able to meet that need. 43 years later, we're still here. I've been able to give a tour to our founder, who was just so happy to be able to see that we continue what her and her friends started so many decades ago.
Wow, it must be like really fulfilling. I have this idea of being in a place that has helped so many people for such a long time. And that makes me curious to understand, how did you get involved in this? What moved you to be part of that?
No, thank you for asking. I mean, I'm tearing up just even thinking about it. I started as a board member. So as a volunteer, served on the board for many years. And while I was working for a local newspaper, I had joined that, and the mission just, it touched me in that I don't struggle with hunger. My family doesn't struggle. My friends don't. But knowing that there were so many people, right here in our community that needed that kind of help, I said, I'm going to do whatever I can to help. So when the position became available, actually I stepped in as interim CEO 5 years ago, and then actually moved into a permanent position a few months later. And it was a natural fit. because as I was serving on the board, I knew the staff, I knew the volunteers, I knew the mission, and I already was completely involved and engaged and wanted to be able to do more. So that's how I got started.
Wow, that's lovely. And I again can see the difference that it makes, like, to get in this position after growing with the people, the relations, the connections, they get much deeper. And I can see it in your eyes as you speak. I gotta say that there is a glow when you talk about it. And as we were talking during this brief introduction, I kept thinking about the structure that it must demand to make this all work. Because as I understand, a food bank, it's not just about collecting the food and just delivering it, right? There is more to it. How does that all work? How does this operation work?
Yeah, it's actually more complicated than it appears. We're quite good at making it seem very seamless. So our job as the food bank is to work with our nonprofit partners. So we partner with 160 different nonprofits right here in Ventura County to be able to distribute food that we collect and that we purchase and that get donated to us. So we have all these different sources of food that we get them from stores, we get it from the government, we get it from farmers. We work with the Port of Hueneme, who brings in bananas and pineapples. Anybody who has any additional food that is no longer they're able to sell or use, we call it rescue. We rescue it, we bring it in, and then we send it out through all of our partners. And it's quite amazing the amount of food that comes in. Last year, we distributed 26 million pounds of food. That's millions of pounds of meals, as you can imagine. And being able to do all of that when food that is donated to us is pretty much on its last legs already is quite amazing. It's quite impressive. And when you see the distribution, when you see our facilities, when people come in, everybody says the exact same thing. I had no idea. They don't know, they don't understand the scope of the operation and how much we look like Costco. We got racks, we have warehouses, we got forklifts, we got pallet jacks, we got trucks, we have fleets. It's quite amazing what we're able to do to be able to get that food in and get it out as quickly as possible to be able to make sure that nothing goes to waste while we're feeding people.
Wow, well done. I'm really amazed by your numbers. That's wonderful. And just the fact that you make it all seem like so easy, it's even greater.
Oh yeah, piece of cake.
Just an average day.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And well, you mentioned about rescuing food, and that brought me to another question. That is, even maybe someone that is listening to us right now has some food that could be rescued by you. What kind of food or any other kind of donation do you receive just to get this information out there?
Yes. So anyone who is local, can provide us with food. We have a lot of people who like to do food drives. That is very popular with organizations and corporations, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. The letter carriers like to do a drive every year. And so we always ask for our most popular items that our clients love to eat. Protein is a big one. So we like canned tuna, canned salmon, those types of food, pasta, cereal, peanut butter, anything that you would like to eat is exactly what the people that we're serving like to eat. Anything that you would like to see on your dinner table to be able to serve to your kids, that is what they like. Dairy, eggs, milk, produce. 40% of the food that we distribute is fresh produce. All of those are exactly what it is that our clients are looking for. Our pantry partners are requesting. So we try to rescue as much as we can. We supplement it with commodities we get from the government through USDA. And then we also purchase anything that is in big supply or big demand to be able to give as much as possible. Rice, beans, eggs, those are the types of things that we purchase in bulk by the truckload.
Wonderful. That's truly great to know. And now moving just a little bit back to your operations, I looked at your website and for those listening, you can check the link for their website on the description of this episode. And I saw the programs that you have, and I would love to talk about them a little bit more, because I saw that you have programs to senior community, like with kids, which is something that I loved, and you have like programs to food waste. So just tell us what they are and how they work.
Yes. So a lot of our programs are grant driven, meaning that there's a special program that the state or the federal government will provide. And they say, if we're able to provide you with this much food, this much dollars to be able to help the distribution, can you help us reach this community? And so anything to do with helping to feed certain demographics, we're the right people for them to come to. So we have a program called our Senior Kit program, and that is a state program. It's called the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, long acronym, Senior Kits, which means that it's food that goes to our seniors. If you're over the age of 60, you live in Ventura County, and you meet the income criteria under the certain federal guidelines, you qualify for a free box of food. Now, this program is specific just to those seniors, but all those pantry partners that we talked about, anybody can go into any of those pantries, and they have to, and if they say that they need food, they don't need to provide anything. We don't ask for any income requirements. We don't require anything more than we do ask for their name. We ask for their address, how many people there are in their household, so we can know how much food to be able to give them. And then we track it so that we know the unduplicated number of people that we are serving. And that helps us with being able to ask for grants and to be able to provide information to our donors. We have another program called our Kids Farmers Market, where we go out. We have a nutritionist who goes to after school programs in Title I schools to be able to teach kids about what a healthy dinner, healthy lunch looks like. We do taste testings. They have a nutritionist who provides a recipe, and we actually give them the food to be able to make a healthy meal and then bring home the recipe and the food to their family to be able to help to be able to have nutritious food at home as well.
Wow, I love those things, I gotta say. And I feel like there is a sense of continuity whenever you're working with kids and teaching them how to cook and how to actually use it, the food and eat. And that's just incredible. And there's one other thing that I'd like to highlight here today. Sure. That I thought was very inventive, that were your virtual solutions that probably came up during the COVID pandemic, which I liked so much, because you have an app and you have that, there was another thing that I forgot the name right now. There is a virtual, let me check here. I'm sorry for that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so please.
And so I'm happy to talk about it. Thank you for the prompt, Danny. So we have, we do have an app that we built this specifically for our food bank. And we were one of the first food banks that had a function in there called Find Food Now, which means that anybody who needs food, they can click on the on the service on the app, and they can find a pantry, a meal site, any kind of food, a drive-through distribution that is open right now within 5, 10, 15, 25 miles of them. And so if they need food immediately, that Find Food Now app allows them to be able to go drive directly to wherever they need to go. In the past, we had a PDF that said on the second and third, Tuesday of the month, you can go from 2:30 to 4:30 in this city or this city. And, we're a pretty big county in the sense that it takes a good 30 minutes or longer to drive from one end to the other. And so being able to help them, be able to help them find food in this moment is very, very helpful. And so that is the number one function that is found on our app, along with being able to find volunteer opportunities, being able to donate, follow up on our events, find out how to hold a food drive. Having all that information in an app has been quite groundbreaking, I believe, in the food banking industry.
Yeah, absolutely. This was exactly what I thought. It was something like it's easy and it's in the palm of your hand, and it's just so very helpful. So again, congratulations. That was a wonderful
Yeah.
idea.
Well, and and a lot of people ask, they say, well, are the people that you're serving, what if they don't have a phone? What we have found is that the majority of the people that we are serving actually do have phones. When it comes down to it, they have to have a car to be able to get to work, and they need to be able to have a phone to be able to, sometimes is replace the landline. So we have found that has been very successful for us.
Yeah, I understand that perspective. I feel like in Brazil we have some similar situations, and we always say, "Oh, how come this person has a TV at their house, but they don't have this other basic stuff?" Well, yeah, that happens. People have to live. Yeah, it happens.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Another thing that I was really curious about is about your vision for the future. Where do you see your organization in maybe 5 or 10 years?
We are in an interesting position in that we have been in our current location for 35 years now. We have hopelessly outgrown our current facilities. And we're actually at a point where if we were to receive, and we have in the past, large donations, we don't physically have the space to be able to accept them. And that's heartbreaking for us because it means if we can't take in the food, we can't get that food out. So we are actually in the process of looking at expanding our facilities, perhaps building a bigger, newer facility in the next 3 to 5 years that will enable us to be more efficient, to be able to take in more food, be able to get more food out, and to be able to better serve the community for anybody who needs food.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm always in awe with your numbers. This is really a solid work. I love to hear about it.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, we only see it. We do see it. The numbers increasing. I mean, that is a reality. That it's not going to get less expensive to live here and anywhere really anywhere in California, and that it's a situation that while we would like to be able to say we're going to be able to end hunger, we'll feed everybody, and no one will need food tomorrow. The reality of it is that that's just not going to happen. And so as long as we are here, we're going to be able we're going to continue to raise the money that is needed to be able to either purchase the food, rescue the food, and keep everybody fed.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think my most important question today is, how can people help you to keep going and doing this beautiful work that we've been talking about?
Yes, there's your dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself here.
No worries. Well, people always ask me, they say, Monica, how can we help? And that's the beauty of our community, is that everyone that we talk to, they always want to say, how can I help? And so I always tell them there's 3 things that we can use. We can use your dollars, we can use your hours, and we can use your cans, or we can use your food. So we have 3,000 volunteers on an annual basis, only 30 paid employees. And so those 3,000 volunteers give us the hours to be able to pack food boxes, work in our garden, drive trucks, pick up food, all of that. So that's important. The dollars are equally important. Our budget is nearly $8 million every single year that we have to raise to be able to pay for the drivers and the trucks and the gas and the cooler and all of that, even with buildings that have been paid for. And then we also need the food. Having those food drives are equally important to be able to give the variety of food. Exactly what we're talking about, the people who donate the peanut butter and the cereal and the pasta and the rice, all of that helps to be able to even out that plate of food and have a wonderful serving for everybody that we serve.
Yeah, well, thank you so very much for joining us today. I love talking to you. This was a wonderful talk. And for everybody listening also, thank you so much for staying here with us for one more episode. And remember, if you liked it, press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app, because that shows the algorithm that this is an important conversation and more people can learn about the importance of the food share in Ventura County. Bye, and see you at the next episode.